Okay, we're live. Pretty much experts. Halloween month. You can tell by our wonderful candlelit backgrounds. My name is Robert John Patterson. I am live in Bucharest, Romania. This is my brother Mike.
Hello.
And my other brother Skylar.
Hello.
And before we get into the topic, I just want to remind everyone to like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook. If you're listening to the podcast only versions, we're available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, the rest.
We also do birthdays.
We
and
do
catering.
Yeah. Divorce parties.
Oh, that's we're high rollers in the divorce party.
Yeah. That's where we make our nut.
And most important, Frontline Fiesta. You guys are the best. They supplied us with a sick theme song to start and finish each episode. Check them out. Support them on Bandcamp if you can. We love you, Frontline. So
yeah, we do.
Back to topic. Topic this week is vampires.
Ooh, sticking with the Halloween theme.
Yeah, Halloween theme this month. Every episode is somewhat scary, I guess. I don't know. But vampires.
Yeah. It's definitely, like last week, we definitely covered some witches, talked about the evils of syphilis, you know?
Yeah.
Keep you
It's
some
scary.
real world scary.
Yeah, probably the scariest topic this month. Syphilis.
I feel like STDs and vampires go hand in hand as well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's
It's just a metaphor,
sucking blood.
Ooh, good call.
Like, I bet you more
You got the
vampires
vamp,
die.
baby?
Yeah, they die of. I bet you more vampires die of AIDS than homosexuals. Like,
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
that's
But
just
the
my
vampire
guess,
can't
right?
die from it by vampire
Just
rules.
plagued by
but they
it.
could spread it around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're
You know.
killing more people with AIDS
Yeah,
But
than
would
homosexuals.
they? Because,
Like
no, I
a
don't think they would
proud
spread it.
flight attendant just spreading it everywhere.
I don't know.
Coast.
Because they'd be killing, but they would be spreading it too, though.
Yeah.
In theory,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I don't think it'll survive. I heard a funny joke, and it was like, "Why don't vampires ever get any girls pregnant?
Why?
Because they have to be invited to come inside." Yeah. So
Is that
That's why.
vampire rule?
pretty much, again, I think so.
Yeah, you gotta be
You have to be
invited
invited.
inside.
You can't. Yeah, you can't
They're very,
come inside unless you're
proper.
invited. Yeah.
Really? Even
They come
modern
from a
day
different
vampires,
era.
you think?
Yeah, especially. Consent
Especially,
is the most
wow.
important thing in the world these days.
You're
Vampire
right.
respects that.
Yeah.
Vampire
they would.
law.
Vampire law.
They would.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
So, if you guys ever encountered a vampire?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Fucking day.
I didn't think they went out in the
No.
day. Every night.
Explain.
Oh,
every
got
day?
me.
What's the
No, not every day.
What's the Smithers, British Columbia vampire scene like?
Booming.
Yep.
Yep, they have their own restaurants. They have their own toilets, like we said,
Wow.
2018.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Not my toilet.
It's a prominent community of vamps, like
Yeah.
to be called
Whoa,
vamps
Whoa.
Yeah.
up here.
We don't use
Yeah, let's
that
be
word
respectful,
anymore.
right? No, you guys know if they want to be called vamps, you call them vamps. They asked for it.
Yeah, you got to watch your back.
I'm in the heart of vampire territory right now. So
This is true.
Yeah, you legit are.
I am.
Cradle of civilization.
Yeah, I was in Transylvania all weekend. It was pretty cool.
I bet.
Where is Transylvania?
Transylvania doesn't exist anymore. It was a country like in the
Oh, it was a
15
country.
It was a country. Like
I
beside
thought it was just a castle.
Moldova and Hungary. Up north,
yeah.
we're like north of Turkey right now. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
so I went on a fucking 12-hour tour on Saturday, like all over Transylvania. So like I'm the expert for sure this week. I got all the deets down. So like Romania is only about 100 years old.
Okay.
Before that, it was like Hungary, Ukraine, Transylvania, like all these countries and territories just fought over this land. And like that's when like the Ottoman Empire from Turkey was like coming up all the time and raiding villages and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So up until like the end of World War One, there was no Romania. That came after. After World War One,
Okay.
it's kind of like the beginning of Romania.
Because Austria-Hungary, they like had to split that shit up,
Exactly.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you guys can't be buddies anymore.
Yeah. So, like, soon as the tour started, like, we get in this big, like, huge, 40-person bus. And we're, like, going around Bucharest first before we go, like, north into the backwoods.
Yeah.
And there's this huge monument. It had to be, like, 8 stories tall, like, huge. Of this, like, dude with his arms out doing, like, an airplane. You know, like how a kid runs and makes airplane noises with his mouth? Like, just dude doing that. Like, kind of like Jesus pose. But instead of the hands pointed out like stigmata, they're like pointed down, airplane mode.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And the tour guide's like, oh, this is called like the Aviation Man, and he was put up after World War II as a tribute for all the like fallen air fighters. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then my first question was like, wait, what team was he on?
What team were they on?
What team of air fighters?
Air fighters.
Yeah.
So, sorry, was this World War One?
She said World War II.
Two.
This monument, anyway.
Yeah.
And then we go like a little bit further, and there's like a big park, and she's like, "Oh, this is called Golden Park. It used to be called Stalin Park, and then it was called Hitler Park, and then it was Stalin Park again, and now it's Golden Park." So I'm like sitting in my chair. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that answers my question 1."
Yeah.
So they were
Which
good.
side
They were on the Soviet side, is what I would think.
They started on the Soviet side, and then
got taken over by Hitler, and then taken back by Stalin.
Pretty much, they're just the cowards of World War II. Like they're on the Soviet side until Germany passed through,
flip-floppers,
like fighting Russia, and they're like, okay, we're on Germany's team. And then when Germany was losing, they're like, psych, we're on Russian's team. Pretty much whatever, like, whoever was dominant in this area, that's what team they're on. So that's why the park was like Stalin Park, Hitler Park, back to Stalin Park. And then when like communism like crashed in the 1980s, they're like, okay, now this is called Golden Park.
I wonder whose job it was to erect the flag every week when they decided that they were gonna flip-flop around. The one guy just, we're at it again.
Yeah. Or they just had
get the swastika flag.
They lost one and just, fuck. Alright, get the swastika one.
Yeah, I guess we're sticking with these guys for now.
Yeah, until we get a new flag.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, though, that I have to be, like, complimentary of, there's all this, like, in North America, these old statues that represent, like, an old war, and people don't want to ever take them down. And it's, like, a big, like, oh, let's leave up our Confederate statues because that's our history. Here in, like, Romania, they're just, like, whatever, like, moving on. So, like, she, like, on the tour, she pointed out a few places, like, oh, there used to be, like, a big Stalin statue here, and we took it down, and there was a, whatever, this or that. And then she's, like, pointing at these huge buildings, like, gigantic buildings that are just abandoned. And she's like, oh, these were, like, communist bloc buildings that, like, they erected during communism. And then once communism fell, like, people refused to live in them because it's, like, a symbol of, what used to be here. And this used to be, like, a communist factory. They made, like, tires. So, like, once communism fell and the factory closed, like, no business will ever go in there because it's, like, that's one of, like, Stalin's, and it's, like, that's kind of cool. Like, there's so much, like, fuck that.
There.
Like, we won't even use this perfectly good building. Like, it's just going to, like, rot and fall down and... There's like homeless people and they're just like refusing to live in this like government building because it used to be like the communist,
Yeah.
And they're not in the market of repurposing it, I guess.
No, No, they're just letting it rot and fall. So there's all these like tombstone like buildings all over the city, and it's not just like, oh, they're on the outskirts. It's like downtown. There's just like buildings, and it's like, oh, that was a communist building, so no one uses it.
Wow.
So it's like, that's pretty cool, because if this was in fucking North America, there'd be a whole bunch of people like hating immigrants, and like back in the communist days, everyone had a job. Like, we're gonna live here. It was better back then.
Yeah. It would be a much different stance for sure. So you were saying Romania is only 100 years old, but like that area, like there's a lot of history in that area that dates back like 500 years, right? 600
No,
years.
like thousands.
It's not like the land is new.
No,
the land is very old, very old.
Like history of the rise and the fall. Like, it's called Romania as like a tribute to like Rome, like the Roman Empire was here, you know, back before Christ, like 200 BC kind of thing. Like, that's where the name comes from. But then like the whole vampire tie-in, like Vlad the Impaler was the emperor.
Yeah, that was like 500 or 600 years ago, right?
Yeah, he was like the prince of Transylvania in like 1450-ish.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So quite a long time ago. And it was like, we're kind of talking about this last week, like history's so blurry back then that like no one wrote anything down. It was all like recorded 100 or so years after he died. Or like they don't even know when he died, kind of thing. Like, it's just no one wrote anything down. Like, history is just so fucking blurry back then. And yeah, it's like all paintings and legends and songs, and they kind of like put it together. Yeah, they just like kaleidoscope, like put all these facts together, and like, oh, this is like 80% probable of what happened. But
I mean, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good, and the stories were so fucking interesting. Like, I'm all the way in. Like I said, like, oh, this was like a 12-hour like bus ride and tour all through Transylvania, and I was like digging it. It was awesome.
Yeah, of course.
So like she's like telling these stories of he had like two brothers. One's name was like, oh, I should have written them down. His name was like Rousseau the Handsome, and he had another brother also named Vlad, but Vlad the Monk. And then he was Vlad.
That's what they named him at birth.
They all just had brothers named Vlad. Everyone had the same last name. It was like his dad was Vlad Dracul, and that means like the dragon, because he was like head of the dragon clan. Like, that was the name of their tribe.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, but like in Romanian, like dragon means devil.
Okay.
And
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so he's just like Vlad the devil, but that was his dad, not him. He was Vlad the Impaler.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah. So
and did he get that? He got that moniker after like the tall tale, like amidst the tall tales, or like his family was like, "You're gonna be the family Impaler."
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we're calling you Vlad,
Vlad the
handsome, like Rousseau the handsome. Like, all babies. Like, let's just get this out of the way. All babies are disgusting. They're ugly. You can't. From birth, you can't just say this one's gonna be the handsome one, because you need like 10 years.
Maybe he was a babe.
Yeah, it's like that old, like, you know, if what you name a child is that like, like if you name your kid Mortimer, you know, he's gonna be just like crunching the numbers. Yeah.
Well, I think it goes like what I like saying a couple, like all of this is like legends that have written down 100 years after he died. So maybe day to day, like no one called him that, but in the legends they say everyone called him that, like in the villages and stuff. Like, he was Vlad the Impaler. Like, the word was out what the kind of shit he was into.
Wow.
And he...
and you don't think it was just because he was impaling ladies?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too.
He had, like,
just making his rounds.
So he might have been impaling a lot of things.
Maybe he should have been called him Handsome Vlad. Vlad the Handsome.
Impaler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just swinging dick around Transylvania.
Big dick swinging Vlad.
Yeah.
And then, like, poor, like, you know, Vlad the Monk.
Yeah.
You like destined one kid to just be slaying his whole life, and the other one's gonna be celibate. Like, no.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Yeah, I wanted to be the Impaler.
Yeah.
But like,
they named me the Impaler or the Ghoul.
Priests and the religious people back then were like the most like important. Like that's like Vlad the movie star.
The monk.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're like Vlad,
you think so?
Vlad Dracula, like the dad, has like 3 kids, and only one is gonna be his successor. Like that's Prince Vlad the Impaler. Like the other one can't also be a prince, so it's like, what's the next best job? It's like, I guess I'll like lead a religion. So like Vlad the monk sounds funny, but like he was probably also doing his share of impaling.
Yeah, he was local celebrity status.
For sure.
Yeah. No, it was just like altar boys.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Back then, who knows? Everyone's telling you secrets
It counts.
and giving you like tribute.
Plausible.
You're walking around with a robe with no underwear on, like you're just
feeling a little bit of fabric on the downstairs there.
That nice burlap.
Getting that burlap chafe going.
Getting the burn.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vlad the Impaler obviously comes from his favorite thing to do to people, which was impale. And they got these like 20, I think she said they're like 20 feet long, which is...
Holy, that's long.
They're long.
Wow.
It was like 6 or 7
swinging.
meters or something like that.
Yeah.
And they like
Vlad the horse.
They stick it through your ass. Like they like hold you down, fucking impale you in the ass, and push it all the way up, like through your stomach and out your mouth.
Oh.
Well, if you got 20 feet.
Yeah, they go all the way through. And like
that's like
like it's not just like we're gonna stab you with this and whatever happens. It's like they did it slowly and made sure it came out your mouth. And like worst case, it like comes out through your esophagus or something, like in the neck. But they're like careful to not hit any organs or anything other than your stomach.
So you live.
It's just like moving a house.
Oh my god!
And then they like prop you up and you stay there for like 3 days before you starve to death or bleed to death.
Back it up, Russo. It's coming out his sternum.
Yeah, like you'd have to go so slow. And there's one story of like there was a time when like the Ottoman Empire, like the Turks down south, kind of had like mafia style reign over Transylvania, and every month like the people had to like give them money, like give them tribute. And the Turks also like required you to give over your firstborn, like you needed to give over a kid too for their army.
Wow, peace child.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Vlad the Impaler was like 1 month was just like, nah, fuck that, we're not doing this anymore. And then
good for him.
The Turks sent up like 20,000 soldiers expecting like to just strong arm this guy. And then they captured them all, impaled them, like 20,000. So like, imagine being 3,000 people down the line, and you're just like looking up, and you're seeing some guy like being held down and stuck in the ass with a huge stick, and like that's just like waiting.
That would take months.
It would take.
It would be months of you just like. Oh shit! Oh shit! I wonder if I can talk my way out of this. I hope they run out of steaks. Exactly. Yeah. Hope this steak maker dies before I get up there.
Just make like Romania years later and flip flop on everybody.
So then the legend goes like they impaled the entire army, like 20,000 people, and then like a month later, like the Sultan down in Turkey, like they don't have any way to communicate or anything. They're just like chilling down in Turkey. And they're like, yo, that army never came back with their goddamn taxes and children. Like, let's send another one. And then
let it ride.
Like, where are these guys? Let's send another one. So they sent up another army. And this army, like, approached, like, the forests. And they thought they were, like, going through a forest. But it was just, like, 20,000 people on stakes, like, so close together that... It wasn't until they were like in it that they're like, oh Christ, like this is like a people forest.
Holy shit.
And they turned around and ran home. And they're like, yeah, okay.
That's some
they don't need to pay taxes anymore.
Tactics.
That's some bullshit. This is like the Bible. Go
but
on.
See, this is where, like I was saying, like it's weird that
if you got 20 foot stakes and you're impaling 20,000 people, you think you double up or triple up, you know? Like, make good use of the length.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm
Get
saying.
it done
like,
quick.
It's like the human centipede on a steak. Push them right down, lip to lip.
That was the birth of the shish kebab.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like a shish kebab of people. And, like, you didn't notice that the trees had fucking people hanging from them?
But, see, that's what's interesting.
I didn't see the people forest for the trees. Like, fuck you.
But no one in Romania
Maybe it was peppered in.
or Transylvania back then wrote this down. This was, like, written in the Turkey.
That's what I mean, right?
This is the Turkey side of it.
So 20,000 people army went to Vlad's place. None of them fought. They just were like, just give us the steak. Like, because they then impaled 20,000. Like, there was no war. There was no fight. They impaled the dead.
Yeah, everyone.
Maybe he's really convincing.
Yeah, you're better than that.
Know? They got to look at that 20 feet and they're like, okay. You know? Is there a better way to go? I don't know.
You think that'll kill me?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need 20 more.
Yeah.
So, but this was like written in the like Ottoman scripture.
Were they sharpened? Sorry, were they sharpened?
Yeah,
or were they
of
blunt?
course.
Okay.
They don't want you to that's blunt.
Suffer.
They wanted like to go through quick and smooth, so you don't bleed that much.
But
like this story was written, like none of this is written in like some Transylvanian storybook. It's like this is written in the Turkey side of it. They're just like, oh, we had like dealing with this guy and he's friggin' crazy, so we never went back there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then like Vlad used to do this other like the standard when someone would steal something, he'd like chop your arm off, and if someone told a lie, he'd chop their tongue out. And the tour guide said if someone like committed adultery, he would skin them and then strangle them with the skin and tie them up. Like hang you with your skin. So he pretty much
like the whole town was just like, this
anyone
is
in
normal.
the country that committed adultery, like that's the crime. And
so it's not okay to commit adultery, but you can strangle a person with their own skin. Like, come on, get your morals straight.
But like he just ruled like with this like extreme discipline, and it said that he put like a golden cup in every village beside the well, and said like, this is my cup, this is Vlad's cup, and anytime I come to your village, the cup better be there, or else I'm burning the village down.
Oh my god!
Holy fuck!
Yeah, so just like there's no stealing, I'm number one. And he had this. There's this other story. Speaking of burning the village down, he went to one village that had a whole bunch of homeless people. Yeah. And he like walks in and he invites all the homeless people into one of the houses for dinner, and he gives them all his clothes and a big feast. And he says to them, like, do you enjoy the meal? And they're like, yes, it's wonderful. And he's like, do you enjoy your clothes? And they're like, yeah, these new clothes are sick. And he's like, do you want to be homeless?
These clothes are dope.
These are dope clothes. He's like, do you guys want to be homeless and
Thanks
poor?
for the new boots.
And they're like, no, we don't want to be poor anymore. And then Vlad's like, okay, tomorrow you're not going to be poor anymore. Have a party. And they have like a big party, and then he leaves and just burns the house down and kills them all.
Wow, that's efficient.
Wow.
Yeah, no more poor people in this town. Got rid of them.
Yeah. Live it up.
Oh.
Nasty, man.
Before you go.
Just
that's
big
fucked up.
genocide.
Yeah. He killed, they said something like 40 to 60,000 people. Like within...
In the house?
No, in like his 8 years as prince.
Including the one army.
Yeah, like 20,000 of the opposing army, so that means like 40-ish of his own people.
Okay.
Just committed crimes and shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty nice.
Yeah, he sounds like he had some serious problems, that guy.
Yeah, all the
Sounds
accounts are like he was a
to
psychopath and like just liked killing people.
Oh yeah, he must have. After 20,000, I think you're gonna have to like it.
You've made a choice.
Yeah.
God, I hate doing this. Cut off his skin and strangle him.
Yeah, if you must.
If you must. God, this is the worst part.
So then,
maybe I got a theory with the steaks.
Okay.
That maybe he was. Oh no, you said they weren't shoving it through his organs. I was thinking if they were shoving steaks through them. Through the heart, which is an old vampire thing, right?
Yeah.
He was maybe weeding out these vampires. Like, who knows? Maybe there's maybe Turkey's got some vampires. I'm going to stick a stake through their butt, right up their butt into their heart, and kill them that way.
I'm sure that the organs got pushed out through the mouth at some people. Like,
they weren't. Heart. It wasn't flawless.
No.
You know?
There's not like a direct path. Like it went through all your stomach and your guts and your lung and all that. It was just like it didn't hit your liver or your heart, so you didn't like bleed really quickly.
Yeah, or go through.
But you were already dead. If they get that thing up in you like 2 feet, I'm sure they were thick, like the girth on those 20-foot beams.
They had to have some.
Yeah, if you're 20 feet long, you want some girth, especially
if
you're
talking
going to
telephone
be hanging
poles
people
at 20
off
feet.
it.
Are we
no,
not? I don't know.
Telephone.
I don't know how fucking
like they're
shit
probably
works.
like Coke can thick.
Oh.
Like no way that they're putting Coke and then suspending them in a forest. There'd be a lot of broken trees.
Yeah, maybe.
Or not if they're green and fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, okay. So you're saying they would go out, chop a fresh tree, and then shove it up some dude's butt?
Maybe they made you chop down your own tree first, and then shoved it up your own butt.
Ooh, wow. That's some
maybe
Hitler Nazi stuff right there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But as far as the like stake through the heart tied into the vampire, like I think that was all Bram Stoker who wrote Dracula in like 1890.
Oh yeah.
He did the correlation
because
there is like a rich tradition with like vampires in this area, and he saw like Vlad the Impaler's story and like combined it to make Dracula.
Oh, okay.
But what's really interesting
is where you get. Is that where you get all like the garlic and sunlight?
All that's from that book in like 1890. But like those stories, like the vampire like lore was just like folklore before that, and he wrote it all down. But so that book was like a bestseller in the 1890s. But the like original Vlad the Impaler story was also a bestseller in like 1500. And it was like one of the first books ever mass produced when like Gutenberg started the printing press in Germany.
He did the Bible?
It's like Gutenberg Bible, and then one of the next stories was Vlad the Impaler. Because like all through Germany and Germany and Russia, like his story was like so famous just by like orally.
Yeah,
that they like wrote it down
be like
and
making a Paul Bunyan book.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so cool that he was like a bestseller, 2 different, almost 500 years apart.
Wow. Yeah. No, the original Vlad the Impaler book, like would that have been like shortly after his reign or like during?
Like 50 years later. I think he died in like 1470, and then Gutenberg was like early 1500s. So like 50 years later. And that's when like all these stories got compiled. Like the Germans had versions, and Hungary had a version, and the Turks had versions, and that's where it all kind of like that's where all these legends come from. So there's not really one source, but we're all just kind of going on. Okay, this is what they wrote in 1515 or whatever. Say like 50 years later.
So what's the deal with the vampire? Did you hear anything about the vampire lore before Vlad? Like you're saying it was like just a thing people believed it at the time?
It was probably just like what we talked about last week with witches, like when shit got weird, like they just wanted to blame it on things.
Okay.
So like they talked about the vampire like wakes at night and it comes in and it feeds off people, but like just sucks a little bit of blood out of them. Like it just feeds and goes back and sleeps in its coffin all night. And I'm thinking like, how the fuck does it get out of the ground and all that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then like we went to like a cemetery, and the coffins are like that kind that is just like a slab of like concrete. Like they're not buried 6 feet underground. It's like exposed tombs kind of deals.
They tombs?
Not like a crypt?
No, it's kind of just like a marble casket, like ground level, with a big heavy lid.
Like those green electrical boxes you see all
kind of like
town.
that. Like they're all above ground. Like it's pretty interesting.
Oh, that's
just jam them in one of those electrical boxes.
It's the same thing. So you're right in a like a populous area. You'd be out. You could suck a little blood
and slip back.
Yep.
Suck a little toe, whatever you're
exactly. into. Suck whatever you want.
Suck whatever you want. Impale whatever you want.
As long as you're not hurting.
So the like stake through the heart comes from like there was no way to kill the vampire, like it's immortal. but if you like nailed it to the ground, it couldn't get up anymore.
And you have to cut its head off. Like I've heard those stories, and I think it's like kind of in the same realm as like the witches, but it was like if you suspected someone of being a vampire, like there are stories of people digging up individuals, cutting their heads off, and like the stake was to pin them to the ground through the heart, pin them to the ground so they couldn't get up and suck on your toes.
Yeah. Because apparently,
I heard something that like they outlawed grave digging at a certain point because one of the physicians was like, they're dead. This is what happens when people die. They bloat, like, you know, whatever's left in their system will come out of their holes, including their mouth.
Yeah, that's
so like that little bit of blood that you might.
They'd like
see.
go back to like a body like a week later and open it up, and it's still got a rosy glow, and it looks like it just ate, but it's just like bloated. And there's like blood around its mouth and neck, and it's just like, that's its like stomach coming up through its throat. But they didn't know anything back then.
No.
Especially
now here's
like
something,
Romanians.
this is like totally off topic, here it comes. Like the embalming process that we do now, does it prevent decay from happening?
I think it just prolongs it.
Now here's the only reason why I asked that is because if you've watched the Netflix miniseries The Staircase, there's a point where they exhume a person's body, and for whatever reason they buried her in her wedding dress, and they talk about how when they exhumed her like 20 years later that she looked the exact same as they did the day that they buried her. So that was a weird moment in my life where it's just like, wow, so like when you embalm someone, like when you suck out all their juices and then pump them full of like formaldehyde or whatever, does it stop them from aging?
Decaying? Maybe a little. Maybe it decays slower or like seals it up or seals it in.
Sealing is also like a major part. Like caskets these days are sealed. Like there's no bugs inside eating it or anything like that. Which if you just buried someone in the dirt, like they'd just be like worm food.
Yeah. Or a pine box that pine would break down.
If somebody like were to die and you didn't discover them for like 5 or 6 days, like shit would happen. There'd be shit everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All those liquids everywhere.
And like you'd be like, you know, it would be a pretty disgusting sight, you know.
Yeah.
I
have
guess,
to get a new carpet, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. New couch, whatever.
I don't think it.
But so yeah, no, it was just weird.
I don't think it makes a mummy or anything, but like definitely slows it all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fluid to like spill everywhere.
Yeah.
All the organs are gone. Like you're pretty much filled with sawdust. Like
they don't take the organs out.
Yeah.
They're not fucking mummies.
Yeah, they do.
Like when they fucking embalm people,
of course, yeah. There's no gases.
No way, they don't.
They take out everything.
They don't take your liver.
Yeah.
Put it in jars.
And it's like full of
the
sawdust.
bottom of your casket.
They just fill it with like sawdust and junk to make you look round.
No, they do not.
Because all those organs would like start popping and fizzing full of gas.
No, they like suck out all the. I don't know. Just sawdust.
It's just
sawdust and peanut shells.
Yeah, they drain all the blood. They drain the blood, and the embalming fluid is like antifreeze, just something to put in so that you're not just like a skeleton. And then they like gut you and throw all that shit in the garbage.
Wow.
I don't think so. No, if they don't cut you open and take shit out, or like I would buy if it was like a vacuum that they stick in.
It's like an appendix-sized scar and a big old vacuum. Just get it out.
Wow.
You can't risk all those like organs bloating during a funeral. Someone like popping and farting. I guess you do
hear those like weird stories about, you know, corpses moving and stuff, right? Like that's
because they forgot one of the organs.
You have like how many feet? Like 60 feet of intestines. Isn't there like huge amount?
Pesky pancreas.
60 feet of intestines.
There's a football field or something.
You can't.
It doesn't go around the world 8 times.
Yeah,
and then
it
does.
Yeah, exactly.
Risk there being like air bubbles in there. Get all those things
and there would be.
Chuck them.
You can use it as a snorkel to the bottom of the ocean if you wanted.
Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
Get down deep.
We all know the folklore around the intestine. Large and small. Oh.
Yeah, shit, I didn't know anything about that, really.
And, like, I know now this is back to vampires, but, like, the whole garlic thing, what's the deal with the garlic? Is it just because garlic supposedly has healing powers?
I don't know. I never asked about the garlic.
Yeah.
But I was in Braun,
I think that's kind
like
of
the little village
stuff
around Castle Dracula. And all the houses in Braun had, like, garlic outside the doors, like their front doors. So, like, it might be for, like, tourists, but it was pretty fucking cool to just
Or maybe it's just, like, you know...
Might be a Romanian
store their garlic.
Or that's just good for garlic. Like, you're just... It's a good place, like, PEI is good for potatoes.
I don't know.
You know?
But as
Florida
like
makes
you know,
good oranges.
Finishing touch on like walking around this like little Transylvanian village and all the houses have garlic outside the door, like it was pretty cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it got pretty creepy, like when night fell and I'm like waiting for the bus. I'm just like, fuck this. Like
after 12 hours of hearing about vampires and
Yeah.
These like woods.
Yeah, that's just of course you'd be.
Yeah, just like get me out of here. Take me back to that big city that probably has like crackheads and all those other like real life vampires.
Yeah.
Real life scary shit.
Yeah. I can do
They'll suck something else. They're not going to suck your blood, but they will suck something else.
They'll suck and impale you.
Yeah.
But you'll walk away fine.
Well, mentally.
No. Oh yeah,
mentally it might be a little
fine.
Infected.
Yeah.
You'd be infected, yeah.
According to you guys probably have some sort of STD.
But that's where, like, is that like the garlic thing, the wooden stake thing? Like, it's all kind of exaggerated because, I don't know, they were just trying to figure shit out. Like, where does the whole, like, turn into a bat come in?
I think that's all just from the book, like Bram's book.
From the book?
Yeah. So, like, in the
is the garlic in there, too?
Is what? Sorry?
Is the garlic thing in there, too?
Yeah, garlic's in the book. And he came up with the daylight thing, like they can't see daylight. But when I asked the tour guide, she said that it probably comes from like the legends about the vampires only come out at night, like a raccoon.
Oh, okay.
So there's no like legends that they're afraid of daylight. It's just that like the corpses rise in the night and suck your blood and go back and they like stay in their coffin all day. So I think like
vampires also wore
just
little
like
masks,
exaggerated
like raccoons. Creatures of the no, I imagine it's because it's like creature of the night, like a bat, like, you know, hunts at night. It's not like just like a raccoon eating people's fucking garbage. they got more class, those vampires.
Yeah, and things are scarier at night.
Shirts.
Like your senses are heightened, and you can't see or hear as well. So, maybe you can hear the same, but you can't see the same.
For thousands of years, human beings were just totally afraid of the nighttime because, what's
shit happened
before the invention of the street light. Like you had no idea what was out there.
Oh yeah.
No, that's when you could get away with everything, right?
Everything before
people
DNA
were
testing
sneaking around
and lights.
Oh, this is hundreds of years before DNA testing, right? Like,
yeah.
Dude, people were dropping seed all over the place.
We're not talking about farming.
Is there a Vlad Appleseed in that family? Because I would bet there is. Vlad the Cedar. Yeah, I bet there was.
So anyway, in the like Bram Stoker's book, Dracula, it's like about this Count Dracula, I guess, is like this Romanian like castle dude.
Selling his castle?
Right? He's not selling his castle, but he wants to buy land in London. So he calls for this like London real estate agent to come visit him and show him some options. And when that guy, I think his name is Jonathan, comes to Transylvania, he like shows Dracula like a photo of his fiance that happens to look exactly like Dracula's old wife. So then Dracula's like, fuck that, I'm going to London now. And
get me some of that.
He goes there to try and like capture the wife.
But doesn't he do some creepy shit first? Like,
lots.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So every time like Dracula,
and that's where the whole
drinks,
like reflection thing comes in, right? Like they don't have a reflection. He like.
And every time he drinks blood, he gets like a little bit younger. Like he starts the book as this like shriveled old man, and then by the end he's back to his like 22-year-old self, like every time he sucks blood. But then like every time he also sucks blood, he like changes form to like get into the house. Like he's like mist at one point, or he turns into a wolf. So like he turns into a bat at one point. So it's funny that I guess the vampire thing just like stuck with bat, because there was
there is a vampire bat, but I don't think Bram Stoker would have had any fucking knowledge of that in 1502.
I think it was like, from what I looked up, it was like pretty much the same time. Like I think Darwin like discovered the vampire bat, or they started to know
good for him.
and naming it based on the folklore, and it was like right about the same time. So I don't know if
just a happy coincidence.
A happy coincidence, yeah. Because in the book, like Dracula turns into a bat, but they don't say like, oh, he's a vampire bat, like those kind that eat fucking cows in South America.
Yeah, suck on their eyes.
It was just like a total coincidence that he turned into a bat, and then this vampire bat comes out or gets invented, and then people just like equate vampires with vampire bats. But it's like in the book, he turns into like a bunch of other animals too. You don't think
frogs,
of Dracula becoming a wolf or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of wolves,
Yeah. Like a fucking whole murder of wolves, or?
I think he just becomes one wolf, and he like rapes the like bridesmaid.
Now, is the movie, because all I've ever watched was the movie, is it kind of the same as the book? Is it faithful?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that's the little weirdo that eats all the bugs?
Renfield.
I like him.
it's Tom Waits.
Yeah,
it is Tom Waits. That's right. Yeah, I was gonna say it was definitely either Tom Waits or the weird nerdy guy from Ghostbusters 2. The paint curator. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
No, Tom Waits. And isn't Gary Oldman in that movie?
Yeah, he's Dracula.
Yeah, he's Dracula.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder,
and Anthony Hopkins is Van Helsing.
Yeah.
All-star cast.
All-star movie.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola.
That came out in the 90s? Was it 90s?
93.
Yeah.
Worst ending in... Like, does the book end as shitty as the movie did?
I'm pretty sure. They just race back to
the movie,
castle,
like, just
right?
fucking ends. It's like...
So-and-so dies, then Dracula dies.
Dracula's dead, and then they're just like, wow, that was rough. And then, boop, credits. Like, it's wow, there's no follow-up. There's no... This is how we've gotten along for the last 3 months after we just endured the fucking mythological vampire.
Yeah.
Like, nothing. Just business as usual.
That movie ends with, like, they're in, like, one set of horses chasing, like, Dracula's carriage, like, racing to the castle. Basically, Dracula wants to get to the castle before daylight or something.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Or he wants to get there... It's daylight and they want to get there before night so that they can kill him. I don't remember. But I do remember, like, on Saturday when I was taking the bus through Transylvania, I was like, damn, this looks a lot like the movie. Like, the forest is so thick and it just, like, zigzags and winds. Like, it takes forever to get anywhere because there's no straight roads. It's just, like, in and around mountains, and pretty great place.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd like to see that one day, sure.
It has that like really good like piney forest smell too. Like you can tell you're like billions of miles from anything civilized.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play in a fucking forest of dead people.
Yeah.
Just makes the soil rich for thousands of years.
I asked the tour guide, like, so where is the like field with all these like and she's like, yeah, no one knows. It's like lost to history. If it ever happened, like you were saying, no one knows. They never wrote down where it was. It's just
they staked one person. They're like, it was 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
The entire army.
They had a plan for a whole forest. They did like 4, and we're just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Dig a hole.
Yeah. Took all day. Jesus.
Yeah. Seriously? Like, you want it to come out the mouth? Dig a hole.
Yeah.
There's also one story of like, for like 3 years, Vlad the Impaler was in jail. There was like a mutiny and they arrested him and put him in jail. And they said that when he was in jail, he used to like impale whatever he could get his hands on, like rats and stuff, and just like display them. And it's like, either
on his dick?
this guy is the most fucking twisted person of all time, or Gutenberg can
Hell
tell
on
you a
his
story.
dick. Is that what you said?
It's like the opening scene to Silence of the Lambs. Like someone walks by and he's just like,
Who, me?
yeah, who are you looking over here? Look at my rat.
Yeah.
It's like that gorilla or the little monkey that uses the frog to jerk off.
Yeah.
That YouTube phenom.
Yeah,
But so, like, what would
sensation.
he impale them on? Like, what kind of prison is this?
That's
that
what I
he's
was
just
asking.
got
Like, what
skewers?
kind of,
Yeah.
And she was just like
Makes it-
writing utensils or whatever. Like, he was in like a white collar jail kind of deal.
Oh,
He was like
yeah.
a high end prisoner, so he probably just like on pencils or whatever.
He
they
was
had.
a priest or a prince.
Yeah, he was like a important
Just-
dude.
Yeah.
And then
He
to get
has
out
all
of
these
jail, he
shanks
like
and
made
they're
an
just-
arrangement to like marry the like rival's like daughter or something. Like,
Oh yeah, as they do.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
get out of jail if you like pass on your royal bloodline to my family.
Mm-hmm.
That royal seed.
Yeah.
You impale
I think
my
the dick theory holds up too.
Yeah, maybe he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like slayed a lot of everybody. Didn't matter, man, women, frog,
Children for sure.
Yeah.
taking him down.
Rats.
That's
yeah.
where the whole
Yeah.
conflict.
Maybe the
came
forest was a metaphor for just his little
Cubes.
black book.
Yeah, the notches on his bed frame.
Yeah. Oh, it was a forest of people. It's like a murder of crows or a coalition of cheetahs.
They do
Yeah.
not say
Just a
coalition of cheetahs.
That's 100% what they referred as.
A
A
coalition.
coalition.
Empire of penguins, coalition of cheetahs. Never
Jesus.
forget that. That's the greatest. I wish I had a coalition of anything. I got a coalition of beers in the fridge.
Don't like geese and goose have a good one too?
A gander.
Gaggle.
No, that's a gaggle.
Gaggle.
A gaggle.
Gaggle.
Gackle,
Yeah.
gaggle, gaggle.
Gaggle.
Depends
Gaggle.
on-
One of those.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah.
I'm calling
Potato,
bullshit
tomato.
on coalition of cheaters.
Fucking.
So, like on your tour there, RJ, like, did you have any characters with you?
Man, tours are the
Or
worst.
just
Romania.
nerds?
Tours are the fucking worst. I've been traveling
Yeah.
now for like over a year, and I've never done any touristy things whatsoever. Like, I've never gone to anything like this, but I'm like, you know
Like
what?
not intentionally.
Never.
Yeah.
Like, I would never go to
Yeah.
like anything like this. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm gonna pay. It was like $60 or something for like a, to go on this tour, and it was
Yeah.
awful. Everyone was so annoying, and like every stop was like, okay, we're gonna stop, and you got 10 minutes to go to the bathroom and like get a snack and get on the bus.
4 hours later.
Every friggin' stop, someone was 20 minutes late, and they just like come in the bus with a big smile on their face, like, "Oh, sorry, got held up." And it's like, dude, like, fuck. Like, everyone else on this bus is just sitting here waiting for 20 minutes because you're like getting a
Yeah.
coffee. Like, how?
We want to see the castle.
And that was it.
Yeah.
It was like we left Bucharest at 7:30 in the morning,
Jesus.
and it was like a 3-hour
ungodly
drive
hour.
up to. We went to this
Yeah.
other castle first, but then it's like Dracula
Oh, yeah.
Castle closed at 4 p.m. So it's like we got to get there.
Oh.
And we ended up getting there
Yeah,
at
yeah.
like 3 o'clock, and it's like, fuck, we're over an hour late because at every stop along the way, like, someone got off the bus and, got in line somewhere. So brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did see this one
Just
lady
needed
fall
that
down and
coffee.
smack her head. That was pretty interesting. Getting off the bus. She was like 4 people in front of me, and I guess she just like was too excited or got off too
Sent it.
fast. And she
Yeah.
just like went down hard. And like
She 9/11.
she bloodied up her nose real good, but then was acting like she's fine, when like a kid hurts himself. And they're like, I'm fine. And she's like turning around to say she's fine and just like bleeding all over her shirt. And it's like, you're not fine. Someone get this lady a
Everything's
towel.
cool.
Everything's cool.
You're gonna attract the fucking
Yeah,
vampires.
she's like
You're bleeding.
super embarrassed.
You know,
Like,
like-
Yeah, you're going to the back of the line.
we're leaving you
Yeah. Or send her in first.
here.
You know.
Yeah. You're just staying here, lady.
You go first into the castle, and then
Yeah.
we'll follow. Oh
Oh,
my
no.
god. Oh, but so you didn't leave her behind. No one gets left behind on the tour.
No one got left behind, despite my vote of like, let's just leave this. There's like this American couple that was like half an hour late at one stop, and it's just like, let's just leave them.
Yeah, snooze you
the
lose.
Tour guide's like, we're liable because we're, in the middle of friggin' nowhere, Romania.
And there's fucking vampires.
Yeah, and there's vampires, and for real, there's like
Look, this isn't folklore. This is
you
real
can't just
life.
like leave people on the side of the road.
Yeah. Debatable. So that's cool. I don't know. That sounds like fun.
It was cool. But I think if I could like play it back, I would be fine to just like book my own tour.
Yeah.
Like just figure out the like local transit. Like I don't need to get on this goddamn tour bus. As interesting as that lady was telling the story, I could have got like an audio history podcast or something and done the tour myself.
It would be cool if you and like 20 of people you knew, let's say, booked the same day, same time tour, because then at least half the people would be people you knew.
Yeah.
And, it'd probably make it a little more entertaining, even if you just had a handful of people going with you, right?
But I think the people you go with, they kind of make it more interesting.
It can,
but you would be surprised. Like, you'd think that, like, everyone's a tourist, but, like, no one really wants to, like, socialize with people they don't know. Like, I'm traveling by myself, so I'm, like, trying to, like, hey, how's it going? And people are just like, yeah, I'm fine. Put their headphones back on, and it's like, okay. And I see like another.
See, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. Like you see this shit in movies that it's like the world isn't really like that.
I went to Walmart the other day.
Yeah.
And when I was done shopping, I was like, I'm gonna treat myself to a couple double cheeseburgers at the old McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I went into the McDonald's, and it was full of cast of characters of people that it was like, wow, this is crazy. You people are all so fucking weird. And then you come to that realization that it's like, yeah, but you know what? Like, I'm here too.
Yeah.
Like,
like
I'm in we're all in this together.
Am I blending in or
I'm no better.
Out?
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably looking at me the same thing, like, oh, you're in Walmart McDonald's? Fucking weirdo.
That's the lowest of the low. Like, Walmart's bad, McDonald's is bad, but then you go to the McDonald's in the Walmart, like...
Yeah.
And
you know what? I set myself up. And it also is like Thanksgiving here, right? So it's like Thanksgiving Sunday.
Everyone's
anybody that has anybody that they love is probably at some sort of Thanksgiving get together.
Yeah.
And I'm buying McDonald's.
Multiple cheeseburgers.
I didn't say multiple.
You said a couple.
A couple. You said a couple. Yeah, couple dirty cheeseburgers.
3.
They're pretty small though.
Extra mayo.
You need mayo.
Oh yeah, you got to get the mayo. The little McChicken sauce packets.
Okay.
Delicious.
Okay.
Yeah. Made it worth it. You know what? It sucked though. It was disgusting. And when I was done, I was like, why did I do that? I put myself in that situation for this. For this?
In that situation, yeah.
The
very least, you're getting labeled. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. Truth's coming out, episode 9. This guy's a fucking asshole. But I would think that I also went to a fucking tour one time. Here it comes. Here's some this is less shallow.
Get the tour stories going.
Yeah, RJ, you were there. We went on a tour of the Kingston Penitentiary one time in Kingston, Ontario.
For those that don't know, tell everyone, our dozens and dozens of listeners, what is a Kingston Penitentiary?
At least 1 dozen.
Kingston Penitentiary was second oldest penitentiary in North America.
I'm going to go with oldest in Canada for sure.
Oldest in Canada, second oldest in North America.
It's an old
building,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Mayans didn't have fucking Supermax.
No.
But
how they turned out.
But so we went to this tour, and fucking 10 minutes into it, there was a couple there with their 3-week-old newborn child that just cried
great place
the whole
to bring
time.
A baby. Yeah.
And it was who brings a 3? It's like bringing a child to a baseball game.
Or
what's the point?
A toddler to a Dracula castle. There were so many fucking kids there. It's
no
why?
way.
Yeah, it's why?
Yeah, wow.
They don't get it.
No.
They don't even know.
Just
you had to take this kid on a 6-hour bus ride to Dracula Castle?
Yeah.
We're just going to walk around the castle.
Leave them in the hotel.
Just a bunch of goth families that want a photo of their kid sitting on the, what do you call it? The well in front. It's a little fucking baby in a baby chair on a well, and it's well done goth family. You did
Whoops.
it. Yeah.
14 likes on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We got 40 likes.
Yeah. Oh my man, like that irritates the fuck out of me. Like, this child's not gonna remember this. Doesn't give a fuck that it's here.
Yeah.
Did you bring its fucking iPad?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, like that's all.
I went on a tour once, but it wasn't like a paid tour.
I'm
we
rattled.
just did it. We did it ourselves. We went to New York City and checked out. Like, and like, I don't. Hopefully, there's not a tour making money off this shit, but I'm sure there is. But we just toured around all the old punk rock spots. Like, we went and checked out CBGB's. We went to 53rd and 3rd.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Ramones throwback, and we checked out it was the 10th anniversary of Joe Strummer's death.
Cool.
And we went to the memorial. It was just happened to be the exact same day, December 21st or 22nd, whatever it was. And we went to like the graffiti that's on the side of the building, and there's all these candles lit, and there's people playing music in the little square.
Oh, you have to be a fucking dick to do that.
To what?
To be like, it's Joe Strummer's like death anniversary, and I'm bringing a guitar. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are?
But no, I think it was like community people,
Too
right?
bad.
Like people in the scene and shit.
No, too bad.
Well, whatever. It was still cool. People cooking meat on the barbecue, and
cooking
everyone's
something.
hanging around. Like, it was just neat. Like, we toured around all day and just happened to end up at the Joe Strummer Memorial like later that day, because we're like, oh, I know it's around here somewhere, and we were asking people, yeah, I think it's over there, and well, yeah, and turns out it was like the exact day, 10th anniversary of his death.
Were there any kids?
Wild.
Any kids?
I don't remember there being any kids, but
ruining it?
no.
Remember one time I went to Cider Town and there was a lot of kids.
Cider
and
Town?
Cider Town is just out of Guelph. Out of Guelph, you go get some good cider pancakes. And we went one time, and there were so many kids, and they were all just running around imagining shit that, like, you couldn't even drive through the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like, just running around, eyes closed, enjoying life like a child does. And it's like, motherfucker, I got somewhere to go.
Yeah,
I got my cider.
dicks.
I got my pancakes. I saw the
Yeah, I'm
Raptor
drunk.
show.
I'm drunk driving right now. You're gonna want to get your kids out of this parking lot.
Yeah, drunk on cider.
Yeah.
They actually had a Raptor show. That was really cool. The kids didn't bother me then because I was learning about barn owls and other falcons. Not like velociraptors, but bird raptors.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Toronto Raptors.
Oh, fuck them too.
like traveling, traveling globetrotter
I'm not
type
in the
thing.
6. The globetrotters.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. RJ, you got any more Vlad stories, or should we get on to our Ask an Expert
I think that
segment?
pretty much covers it. I found the like real history of Vlad, even though it's suspect, like you're saying, like it was all written down way after he died. Pretty goddamn interesting. Seeing where it like ties in and lines up to vampires was cool. But yeah, vampires probably not real.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, not for sure, just probably not real.
Yeah, just an embellished.
It's like a folk story of like anything.
Yeah, folk story.
Yeah, it just happens to be tied to like a really famous book that turned into a bunch of movies and other books.
Yeah, now everyone's pretty and well kept as vampires, right?
Yeah.
They're not
living in
corpses
Seattle
anymore.
Living in Seattle, vegans.
Vegan.
They only drink vegan blood.
I'm a vegan fucking vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's got to
Should
be
we
a
ask an
thing.
expert?
Wasn't Blade a vegan vampire?
No.
He was black.
He just had like a weird serum that he would drink.
Yeah, because he wouldn't like
I guess that
kill people. He's a
instead of killing people.
He's a puss.
Yeah. I guess you could just eat animals. They don't,
Yeah, Brad Pitt did that
animals.
in Interview with the Vampire.
He sure did. Or did you ever see that movie with Ethan Hawke?
Yeah, Daybreakers
I feel like Ethan
or
Hawke
something.
comes. Yeah,
That was great.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
How many-
So wait,
Willem
as a vampire, you can drink animal blood. Like you don't have to kill humans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
can
you
just
don't
drink
have to
blood,
be a monster.
Well,
Brad
What?
Pitt just drank rat blood and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's all about the art of seduction.
I think he ate one lady's dog
Mm.
too in one scene. Tom Cruise ate the lady.
Yeah, and then fucking Brad Pitt also ate that little girl,
yeah,
so... He doesn't get a pass in my books.
Yeah, he's not better than him,
no.
that's for sure.
You decided you were going to go human and started with a little girl crying over her plague-ridden mother? Okay, Brad. You lost all credibility.
Out of my heart forever.
Yeah, done. Yeah. If you guys were vampires, would you move to the Arctic Circle?
No, because there's not enough people to eat.
Polar bears, though.
Not that many.
Ooh. Oh, but
Global
try
warming.
to get a polar bear. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, you can move to... you can move to Inklet, or whatever it's called.
Well, you think an Arctic Circle because it's like
dark?
there's dark months.
It would be dark for a while,
but there's light months.
Yeah, so you'd have to have a charter plane to get you to the south.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could. I think the south is where you want to be. There's actually land there that you could own. You could, and once the ice caps melt, and you'll be killing it.
I'd stay around the equator, nice and warm. Everyone's tanned.
Caribbean vampire.
And Caribbean vampire, and just do the whole hunker down in the day.
Those hot Havana nights.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Everyone's out.
Havana vampire sounds pretty great.
For sure, you'd have so many cool Hawaiian shirts to wear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just killing people taking their Tommy Bahama shirts.
And just that Latino music playing at all times.
Spicy and that spicy blood.
Yeah.
You just come out of the coffin, just shoulder shimmying.
You got a nice temper on you, lady.
With your little hand cymbals.
Yeah, Havana Nights. We know.
Yeah.
Havana Vampire.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Let's make that movie.
Havana Vampire.
I was thinking that if you were a vampire, would you rather die slowly, let's assume slowly by garlic, quickly by wooden stake, or burn to death by sunlight?
Ooh. Wow.
So it's quick, slow, or
burn
by burning. Yeah.
I would take the steak, I think. Because then you could look that person in the eye and haunt them for the rest of your life. You did this to me. I know I ate your chihuahua, but...
And it also leaves a little bit of doubt that maybe you survive somehow. So that person has to always look over their shoulder.
Yeah.
Versus if you got burned in the sunlight, they're pretty confident you're gone. But
and in garlic, you don't want to be an ugly vampire.
Yeah, no.
If I gotta roam this world forever, I'm not gonna smell like garlic and be ugly.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I think I'd take the steak. Just get it done.
Just get it done.
Yeah. Well done.
I was thinking of
medium rare
in Lost Boys, how it's all about just being young and partying forever.
Yeah.
Would you, if you had the choice, the vampire sits beside you and is just immortality, yes or no, but vampire style, and you can't be a pussy like Blade and just drink serum.
Kill the. Yeah. Oh, instant yes, that'd be so cool. Yeah. If I could be this
I'd say yes,
here for the rest of. I wouldn't want to be like Kirsten Dunst's little child,
right?
Cursed forever, or like a 60-year-old dude. Old and wrinkly. If I got to keep my boyish good looks for the rest of eternity, and just had to never get to see the sun again.
Okay, well, what if you had to do it full Lost Boys style, and you had to get a Kiefer Sutherland haircut and wear one ear,
one cross earring.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm half there
already. A leather
jacket.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Like Billy Idol. Yeah, that's fine.
Dude.
For eternity.
Let's start a gang.
2,000 years from now, just walking into every party,
Havana Vampire.
Talking about how the rebel yells. 100%.
Wearing mesh tank tops.
Of course. Take my reflection. I don't need it.
Yeah. Never liked it anyways.
Yeah, take a picture of this right here, and then that's it for eternity. Yeah, I remember that. Ooh. That's fine.
That's scarier than the vampire.
I got loved ones, and I will gladly watch them die. And then...
Gladly? You don't have to be glad. No one said you have to be glad about watching them.
Watch my young ones grow old and die.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Gladly. You're holding me back at that point. Look at this. You're 62.
True. Yeah.
Sorry, roommate.
You're still a 30-year-old firecracker.
Yeah.
I got
popping off.
Impaling to do.
Yeah. I've been waiting 40 years for this. Like, I wouldn't be an asshole and just, like, drop my everything like a shitty dad, you know? Like, I would stay true to my commitments that I made, but just, like, hey, just know, once you're gone, like, I'm never thinking of you. This isn't going to be like Dracula.
Yeah.
Not making those same mistakes, damn it.
Chasing down your lookalike in 300 years.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah, fuck that. It's not happening.
Alright, so
yeah.
Let's wrap up vampires. All in all, the trip to Castle Dracula was cool. Vlad the Impaler was pretty cool. And we'll be back next week. Let's give one last shout out to Frontline Fiesta, our favorite band from Toronto. And like on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. Like and subscribe everywhere. Facebook.
Yeah, check it out.
SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Any last words?
Like I said, we also do birthdays and catering.
Yep. So keep that in mind.
Hope you like craft dinner. Extra for the wieners.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't hold the secret sauce.
No.
The mayo.
I gotta earn $1 too, you know?
Yeah. Boys gotta eat.
Yeah, those Schneider's hot rods ain't cheap.
Okay, anyway. Until next week.
Yeah. We're out.
Pretty much experts. We're out.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Oh, I'm not blowing out candles.
That was nice. Oh, there it is. Blow out your flashlight. Oh, man. That was good. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. We are Pretty Much Experts. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. While you're at it, go have a look at our Facebook page. You can ask an expert any time of day or night, whatever you like. And if you're into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, baby. Thanks again, everybody. Tune in next week. We are Pretty Much Experts, and we love you, I guess.